后继入球最少。
It does seem the Dojo and Alliance will be going at it, and with Effect already down, it's going to be back up to Yuki and Hakis to stabilize. It looks like just a 1-for-0 at the moment, which puts Alliance in an even more dangerous spot, having to execute a 2 versus 3.
Yeah, but the issue with Alliance is knowing that Effect insta-locks that Horizon and will play on that. If Dojo prioritize the Horizon, take down Effect, this will make things a little more difficult for them. And stuck on the low ground with Design on the high and a triple take. Here goes Enemy. They go ahead, they get the Thirst, and they are going to reinforce them in.
Fortunately backed up for now. Yuki does have to hold 2 angles. Hakis throws out an Arc Star to buy them a little bit more time, maybe just enough for Yuki to reinforce the door once more, but it's a losing battle.
Yeah, but the Havoc. Yuki has the Havoc in hand, and let me just tell you, off rip, that gun can be detrimental, and just like that, 126 will change the tide of this game, but they are still underneath, so swinging out, wanting to capitalize on the initial damage. These teams, there's no way, but we gotta keep an eye on Hakis, who has actually won.
Yuki anchors again, does a decent bit of damage, but ultimately will go down.
Keeping the pressure on, but not necessarily finding the easiest of rotations, and FaZe Frex, you're gonna be completely caught off guard, no rotation for you.
That's pretty unfortunate. FaZe just waiting around for a little while and ultimately trying to pick a fight with, I assume, multiple squads off of that odd rotation. Ultimately can't do much. I do believe there's one member, there it is, Phony, right beneath them. Next set are gonna jump down, and despite the amount of damage that Phony was able to do, it's not gonna be enough to clutch up. FaZe likely going to be playing things out from the elimination bracket.
FaZe and Ascend both fall. FaZe was sitting just ahead of his X-Set on the leaderboard, and Ascend was in a top 5 position. So for the teams that are inside the top 10 falling this early on, it's going to allow for a shakeup should teams like X-Set keep performing incredibly well.
Oxygen did manage to get control of this tunnel beforehand, however, and with the zone starting to close in, they no longer have to hold it, just making sure that X-Set can no longer rotate as quickly as they otherwise would have been able to. IBG take a fight in the south, and this will ultimately be for positioning over LG Chivas.
Yeah, but if they fall here, they're going to seal themselves a ticket to elimination round 2, so Ziki is going to have to stay alive. They're just mere points away from a top 10, but a reset would be needed with teams like Optic just getting high ground and insanely damage suppressing towards the other teams. This is going to be tough. The best thing about Optics, they get those big mod weapons and they're able to utilize them incredibly well.
And they should be clearing out their backs right now. Optic have one member left to hunt down in the south, while Singularity have to clear all of Dark Zero out of this low ground. Horizon ult going to be very quickly finished off, but Singularity get cut off by a wall, unable to access high ground without the use of a gravity lift.
Bin, Elysium, and Arden, they just kind of sit here, but 17 squads have found themselves into Ring 4. And once this ring starts to close in just over a minute, it's gonna be chaos. And Elysium trying to find an angle. You hear the grab lift coming out. They're trying to put a pressure move onto Optic Gaming.
Yes, Elysium. He has always been the fighter of Singularity, but here in this tournament, it has not been enough. Dark Zero finish them off, and Realize come in to say neither of you really get the W. Dark Zero go down, and it costs Realize almost nothing. It gains them everything.
X-Set have also found themselves in the circle, looking to be privy to the fight that's breaking out between Moist and Realize. These are two teams that sit ahead of X-Set that will need to go down as NRG has fallen. Did they do enough to find themselves in the winner's bracket? Can Walsey take this fight? Realize they lose out on Zongshoot, and looking for the full, they're able to grab it.
10 squads left, and we're starting to accumulate even more placement points, those small little bits that could very well change a team's entire outlook on the next couple of days, or rather the next 2. We do still have a move made from Moist, a team that did make it out previously in first place, but they're pushing on to the spot that Dojo hold, where Dojo just cleared out start a fight.
Dojo able to get Designful back on their feet, looking to try and hit a full reset and then grab lift back towards the high ground, but not necessarily towards the front. Design will double down and look through the doors, but Moist is on top of them as Realize has officially fallen into the hands of Xset.
Well, Waltzy actually takes a really good angle there, but Dojo are playing this very well, making sure that Moist cannot finish a fight, even onto the already weakened members. We've got an Optic against Xset fight brewing in the south, however.
But this is make or break for Xset, and even then it might not be enough. Knock 10 HP and a dream, they will fall. Waltzy picking up all of those eliminations, have now broken into the top 10. If you're an APEX South fan, this is everything that you've wanted.
Moist in the top 7 for now, with Optic jumping in right behind LG. They are changing LG's game for the worse here. And even with a spot so close to home, missing Jaguares and Niesel, there's very little you can do.
And this is a battle for advanced starting points now. Now that Optic have found themselves into the top 3, they're inching ever so closely towards the potential of 10. But Moist on that left-hand side, empty in the dead center of them. But it's gonna be Knocked, who just opens fire.
Let's not forget that overlooking all of this, there is Dojo, who can still, with a big win, make it into the finals. The takedown from Hal is gorgeous, and Optic and Oxygen are gone. 5 squads left, and Dojo are gonna start sending it onto TSM.
Yeah, but Reps is down. If Hal doesn't get him back here, he will not be back up. Moist has fallen. Reps has risen. Now Verholz just hiding behind that dark veil. You can see Timmy there as well. Design has fallen. Timmy is playing his life, and they have done enough to get into at least 9th place for now.
8 squads so far. This is huge, huge for Dojo. Rather, 8 kills. Timmy's gonna have to survive for as long as possible, seeing if you can gather just a few more placement points. 4 squads left, and a little bit of damage thrown out by Timmy, but it's TSM on the low ground that still have to contend with the last member of LG, the last member of Dojo, and the full squad of, it's Dreamfire.
Oh, Dreamfire is going to be a beast to fight against. You can see Yanya right there, and Dreamfire with all of their space occupying that ultimate high ground. You put an L-Star in Sandwich's hands, you know what happens.
Up here, plenty of ammunition left, plenty of high ground. What they won't have as much of is cover during the next ring. Dojo go down, LG go down, Dreamfire are pushing for the win, but they haven't got enough, even a crack. Can they play this perfectly?
TSM in 10th, they have put themselves into contention for advanced starting points, and Dreamfire full sending down, roieee falls, 3MC falls, and TSM, they are going to find themselves in the winner's bracket.
Yeah, look, that was beautiful. TSM going from 15th all the way to 5th in one decision. As you can see here, they just rotate, they play under next to the geyser, they're fighting, they're doing as much damage as they can to the teams right around them. They're getting the armor swaps and they're using the util that they have. DF are controlling the whole high ground here and they're putting pressure, and the Bangor goes down as you can see, and they're just trying to stay alive. The main thing here is they managed to use the boxes around them to get the armor swaps out just to make sure they stay healthy.
All right, well, I think too, Zephyr, when you look at this, a lot of people have talked about, obviously, the players. Those stories are amazing, but Reps has shifted onto the Fuse. It has helped in these moments where there are several teams and you're vying for positioning.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that Raven's been trying to make work for a long time here. And this is a great opportunity to truly see it shine. The zoning control, especially with that bombardment in some of these final zones, that stunned so many teams having the opportunity to truly lay lines of sight that would have punished TSM here. As a result, it is just that small little minute second that allows them to jump up from 4th to 2nd, which that officially did secure them the win, but they took it a step further with the pressure and much more beyond. They find the simple 3v3 deep in the pocket.